Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. I'm able to show you some of the new champions coming this week. So we've got the new Fusion due to drop on Thursday. I think all of these champions are coming alongside. We've got the new Fusion Rare and the Fusion Epics, which you're going to be kind of looking at to try and make into the new Rat. And then there's a ton of Void Legendaries. I don't know where they're coming from with this. I've never seen them do this. So we're going hard on Void Legendaries. Let's just get into it. I'll start with the rare and then we'll kind of work our way back to the big stuff. So the rare who's going to be coming in, Riscarm. I will say, actually, I'm going to stream tonight. I will be streaming test server stuff tonight, 8 PM UK time. We can kind of build out whoever people are most interested in. We can do a bit of a play test on the Rat, albeit I'm going to drop a video on him anyway. But all of these new Void Legendaries, whichever one we want to try first, we can just kind of dive in on the test server on stream. I'll leave all my info down below. So yeah, Riscarm then, as a rare defensive champion for the Bannerlords. I'm guessing there's just going to be 16 of these to collect. So I guess bear in mind, Spirit Affinity is going to be hard yards in terms of potions. That's what you're going to need. We've got an A1 with a 20% chance to stun, books to 30. As I say, defense-based is always quite nice for a faction war type of unit for a rare. An AoE, which can place a shield for 2 turns equal to 20% of their max HP. So AoE hits, and you're getting a shield based on his max HP for this dude on a 3-turn. Be interesting if this hits actually for a decent amount. And then we've got an A3, places counter-attack on an ally for 2 turns. And then increased defense, small version on all allies on a 4-turn cooldown. And then we've got defense in faction crypts. I mean, he feels like a faction crypt type of dude. There's not much else going on there. Got some reasonable survivability, but I don't think he's going to be like making any waves in terms of like, oh my god, let's get him into teams. So pretty much faction wars or fodder is what I would say. First of the epics is in the High Elves. We've got Endalia. Endalia. What we saying? Weapon there. I guess sword, saber. Okay. What we got here? HP based champion, 20k, good speed, okay defense. High Elves. We've got 1 provoke on the A1. Books up to 50%. Actually pretty good. I mean, the provoke is good for Magma Dragon and it's good for Hydra. So kind of looking for stuff that complements that. Decrease attack on an AoE, books to a 3-turn. Also books to a 100% chance to land. That's actually a very good Hydra ability as well. So those two kind of synergize together. It's HP base, which means, you know, kind of easy to keep alive or easier to keep alive. And then what's this here? Passive. Counterattacks when attacked by enemies under decrease attack. Books down to a 0-turn cooldown. So actually could be pretty nutty for Hydra. You know, if you keep that decrease attack out there, and she's just like counter-attacking like crazy with the A1, okay, you can only provoke the Head of Decay, but ultimately I think that's a reasonable champ there for a Hydra champion. Accuracy in all battles. I think the first of the epics, okay, not going to be like nuts. I guess also, I mean, the provoke is irrelevant, but she could be an okay kind of clan boss champion as well, with that counter-attack always popping off. In terms of just getting a decreased attack champion, which you need for any team which is not unkillable. All right, she's not going to be able to keep that up 100% of the time, but not far off it. I think it could be pretty decent. So yeah, Endalia, nothing too crazy again, but quite decent. Let's have a look at the Orc then. We've got an Orc. Where is this Orc? Trumborr. Very friendly looking Orc, this one. Collection of heads above his own head. Collection of hands on his chest. This dude is a collector. You know this guy likes Pokemon or any of those kind of like collector cards. Sweet looking axe. Funky skin, this one. I like it. We've got high HP, high defense, good speed as well. A1, double hit. First hit, chance to place weaken. Second hit, chance to place leech. Pretty good debuffs to get out there on bosses. Books up to what, 40% chance on each of the hits, which is okay. It's not perfect, honestly. It's okay, you know. Neither of them are definitely going on. Then got an AoE on a 3-turn. Randomly removes a debuff from all allies before attacking. and damage increases based on the amount of debuffs that have been removed. That's interesting. Be interesting to see if this one smacks. For an epic, that's quite a cool skill, actually. And then an A3, ally protect and place increased defense on this champion. Books to a 4-turn. That's okay. Honestly, the ally protect, if you're going to use it on someone like Clan Boss, you really want it to book to a 3-turn to make it, easier to set up. 4-turn alongside a 3-turn is actually quite hard to manage. And then what we got here on a passive, whenever this champion is attacked, goes up to 40% chance to decrease the duration of all debuffs on this champion by a turn. Okay. It's quite an interesting kit for an epic. It feels kind of clan bossy to me. Feels pretty much like set up for clan boss. 2 good clan boss debuffs. Ally protect, increased defense for himself. This one, you can remove the random debuff before attacking. So you can actually remove all those decreased speeds if you speed tune in properly after the second hit on affinity stuff. So it feels pretty clan bossy to me. I guess comment below anywhere else you would use him based on what you're seeing there. Okay, dwarves is the next one then. We've got ourselves another funky looking female dwarf. I mean, this is a scary looking dwarf right here. This is a scary looking dwarf. Kind of cool though, I like it. Kind of like it. Massive old sword. Sword's bigger than her. She looks like a legendary version of a Galia, or just an alternative, I guess. Like a more scary sister of Galia. So we've got defense based again. Good defense, good speed, good HP. Double hitter on the A1, ignoring shields. AoE places strength on all allies as well. Not bad on a 3-turn. Depends if it hits for a decent amount, I guess. And then an A3 here teams up with 2 random allies. So an ally attack teams up with just 2. So it's not kind of up there with the big boys in terms of 3 or 4. The allies joining the attack will always use their A1s. That's normal. And you get an extra turn if you kill someone. So it books to a 4-turn. It's kind of more like a 3-turn if you're actually taking people down, which means you get back to your AoE a bit quicker. But where would you be using her? She doesn't place any debuffs. She's got here a passive. Counterattacks when hit under a strengthen buff placed by this champion. So when her strengthen is out there, she's got this count. She just does it. Counterattacks as well. She might end up doing a lot of damage and a lot of work, actually. She might end up being pretty damn useful, but doesn't bring any debuffs or... I guess she brings a buff. Interesting one, actually. I don't think she's going to be a game changer, but certainly not a bad epic. Last one, then, for the epics, is this Knight Rev. Aeshma. Oh, looks like a mummy. I like it. Very cool looking skin. Very different, actually. Probably could do with some cream for those legs and her chest. Looking a little bit enraged. The skin. What's going on with this one? So, Aeshma. Double hitter with poisons on the A1. Books up to a 30% chance per hit. It's okay. Again, it's honestly not really good enough for a consistent poisoner here with the A1. A2's an AoE. 100% chance of placing weaken. Okay. A3 is on a 3-turn cooldown. So books to 100% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs. And then 100% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs. We've got here. So passive heals this champion by 3% of their max HP whenever an enemy receives damage from poison. I don't know. This is an interesting skill. It's a bit like, I think, what Fleshmonger, something like that. Flesh Terror, whatever, has got. I don't see, unless this really hits on the A2, I can't really see that she's getting in any metas or anything like that. Again, if you're a newer player coming up, AoE hits with weaken are decent enough. Some sort of poison damage is okay, but I just feel like there's already a ton of champions that do pretty much the same job better than what I'm seeing here. Again, comment below. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, and if I am, where would you use her? So let's get on to the legendaries then. I guess we'll start with the rats, just so you can... So I've already talked about them in a separate video, and I will be putting out a video probably right now doing a little showcase on him. But yeah, Gnishak Verminlord. I mean, I think this dude looks absolutely sweet. Really like the skin. Main thing I hadn't seen before is his base stats. So actually very fast, good base attack. That's what his bombs are going to scale off of. And yeah, I mean, bombs on the A1. I'm not going to go in detail here. Decreased attack on the A2 with the chance to kind of increase bombs. Decrease bombs, increase poison. Bombs on the A3 and bombs being replaced by poisons on his passive. I think he could be cool. I think he might be capable of some solo stuff. So yeah, look out for the other video on this dude. I'll pin it at the end of this video as well. So yeah, I mean, a cool one to come in, really. Let's have a look at what else we've got. We have got a... I've done that one. Sorry. Dark Elves. Dark Elves. We have got the first Void Legendary then. Tramaria. Now, I've got to say, like, with this many Void Legendaries coming in, I'd imagine, like, Krakens are pretty scared of this. Like, if there's really good champions here, Void Legendaries are hard to get. They're expensive to get. And, you know, adding in several massively expands the Void Legendary pool. Like, unless these champions are really needed, it's kind of like, yeah, it's harsh, actually. I don't feel like we needed this many in one go. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the kind of consensus is from the community, but I feel like it's a bit weird. I do like this visual, though. Look at that. Very cool. Okay, what's going on? Support-based unit. We've got defense, HP, speed, all looking strong. AoE drop speed on the A1. Also a chance of placing fear on enemies with low turn meter. Okay, this goes to a 50% chance to land. And I mean, an AoE decreased speed nowadays is actually really strong. We've got an AoE stun, books to 100%. After attacking, 100% chance of decreasing turn meter by 30% on each enemy without a stun. So I guess what they're doing here is they're saying, well, you know what? If you're fighting a boss that you cannot stun, we're at least giving you a reason to use this skill. We're still giving you a turn meter drop. You know, or stuff like Hydra. If you're fighting Hydra, can't stun any of those heads. Well, I know you can't turn meter drop them either. I don't know. I mean, it just feels like it's an okay skill in certain situations. I guess certain bosses where you can't stun, but you can drop turn meter, going to be okay. Honestly, though, you're going to need accuracy to stun the people. So anyone you can stun, this second part is irrelevant. We've then got the A3, which is, I think this is a massive skill here. So cleans all debuffs from your team, builds their turn meter by 15%, builds a turn meter by a further 10% for each of these kind of like control abilities that have been removed. Fears, true fears, freezes, all of them basically on there. Builds a turn meter of each ally by a further 5 for any other debuff removed. And that's on a 3 turn. So it's like a mammoth cleanse and brings your team back into the game. It's kind of nutty, actually, especially with her passive here. She's immune to sleep herself and fills his champion's turn meter by 20% if an enemy tries to place any of these other things on her. So she's just going to be an out-and-out cleanser with a couple of other kind of bits. She feels kind of an arena-style champion to me. And I guess she's got some inbuilt control for wave-based content as well. Speed in all battles. I think decent. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how she performs. But I don't know if she's like meta-defining in any way. I think she's just going to be a decent support unit. Let's have a look at the Night Rev. This one is up there as one of my favorite skins. I love it. I just love the animation of it. Like, very cool. Good job. Very cool. Look at the swords. Yeah, this dude looks like the real deal. He's got a couple of rats on his back. This is the guy that was kind of after the Rat King in the little short, if you didn't see it the other day. So what's going on here? Double hitter on the A1. 30% chance of repeating the attack. That's cool. Yeah, that is cool. So a bit like Fushan. 30% is a lot. Just keep like railing in with the A1s. You could get this spiraling a lot of times if you get lucky. So quite an interesting A1. A2 attacks all enemies. Let's hope it's a smack. Decreases the turn meter of all targets by 30%. Cannot be resisted. That's pretty massive as well. Places unkillable on this champion if he kills someone. Feels, again, kind of arena-led or wave-based led so far. And in the A3, attacks an enemy will ignore Strengthen, Stone Skin, Unkillable, Block Damage, Increased Defense, Ally Protection, and Shield. So we had a kind of an example of this type of ability in Alil in the new faction. Now, Alil didn't really live up to the hype because he just didn't hit hard enough with this skill. I guess we'll test this one tonight and see if he does, but gets an extra turn if he kills someone. So he wipes one person off the map. Now, this could be an absolute netcret nuke, yeah? And wipes someone off the map and then could come in with the AoE potentially. Or, because it's only on a 3-turn anyway, you know, maybe you're just cycling back to this very, very quickly. But it's a pretty cool A3 if this hits. Got good base attack as well. We got here as well, 50% chance for this champion to ignore 50% of the target's defense from each hit placed by this champion's skills. So he's basically got an inbuilt Helm Smasher. He's basically got Helm Smasher just inbuilt into his passive. A 50-50 as to whether he's just going to ignore 50% of the target's defense. Again, potentially massive when you pair it with this skill into this AoE if they hit. So yeah, I feel like Georgid the Breaker is going to be on like the wish list for a lot of people here. Okay, we've got two more, and these two are actually quite special to, certainly to Ukrainian player base. So these two have been made, Taras and Marichka, I think it is, with kind of like, I guess, symbolism and visuals which are in the kind of Ukrainian folklore. Yeah, so we've got Marichka. You actually see the animations of these are very cool as well. Marichka, I'm going to read through some bits here. Basically symbolizes rich culture, freedom, and independence. Each piece of her jewelry or armor and weapons tend to have authentic elements to them. Kind of love the little swirliness of this, by the way. You've got the helmets decorated with like metal flowers, similar to like a wreath. So yeah, so I'm keen to try these out. I think they've put a couple of little Easter eggs in the ability visuals as well, which we'll check out tonight on the test server. But Marichka, let's go through a kit, and then I'll go into the second one as well. So United We Triumph. Attacks one enemy, one random ally will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will always use a 1. If Taras the Fierce is on the same team, they will always join the attack. So an A1 where you just get an ally attack is pretty nutty, honestly. It's just pretty nutty to have that as an A1. Always going to have someone else attack with you. A2 fully restores any allies' decreased max HP. Wonder where that might come in useful. Then heals all allies by 40% of this champion's max HP. That skill is 100% crazy for the new boss. Places a shield and a protected strengthen on all allies as well. Strengthen, again, crazy for the new boss. Straight up taking less damage. 25% less damage. The value of the shield is equal to 20% of this champion's HP. And then she gains more shieldage and more healing on her books. That's a crazy A2, honestly. A3 then, full cleanse. Then fills the turn meter of allies by 15%. Fills the turn meter of each ally by an extra 5 for each debuff removed. Increases resistance by 5 for each debuff removed. And grants an extra turn if 5 or more were removed. Again, I mean, it's on a 4-turn anyway. It feels pretty much like it's set up for the new boss. Yeah, in terms of the cleanse, turn meter fill, extra turn if there's loads of debuffs removed, which we're constantly getting. Also, though, I mean, these two would just be good for pretty much any boss encounter. As a support, healing, cleansing is always going to be useful. And then an actual decent A1 to bring in like an additional person. So feels like it's pretty strong to me. Then got a passive, revives all dead allies with 50% HP, 75% turn meter whenever she dies. Again, it just feels like she's made for the new boss. She goes down, everybody else pops up, and then you just need somebody else on your team to pick her up. Again, that would be on a 3-turn cooldown. Active effect as well. Places a block damage buff on all allies for 1 turn whenever an ally receives a bomb, a poison, or a burn. Interesting. There are multiple champions on the team with this skill. Only one will activate. Right. And then she's got, what, 24% speed in all battles. She's got crazy base speed, good base stats. I think she's going to be a nutty support, honestly. I think she's going to be very, very cool. Okay, and then she pairs up here with Taras. Again, in the kind of style of the Ukrainian folklore. It says here, the depiction of a brave Cossack. He has several traditional elements on his armor and clothing, like a horn on his belt and a saber for his weapon. And yeah, I'll kind of like pin some info down below. But yeah, very, very just cool build. Like cool kind of visual to it, I think. Got the barrel behind him. He gets his little what do you call it? Like Bard's guitar, I guess. I don't know what it's actually called, but yeah. Gets it out for a little sing-song. So what's going on with this guy? HP-based champion, massive base defense, and good base HP. Another Bannerlord here. Double hit A1. So this is what would team up with Marichka if you had the two together. 40% books to... doesn't book for... Just books for damage, actually. 40% chance of placing decreased attack. Each crit fills turn meter of all allies by 5%. So you get like a 10% turn meter fill for the A1, as well as a chance to place decreased attack. A2 attacks one enemy, places a stun for 2 turns. 2-turn stun's pretty damn unusual. Deals double damage to enemies whose attack is equal or higher than this dude. These conditional type of abilities tend to hit really hard. And a passive here, whenever an enemy attacks Marichka the Unbreakable, attack that enemy using this skill. Damn. That's actually a really cool pairing as well. So we've got this one here. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 15% for each buff on allies. Then increases the duration of all ally buffs by a turn. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. Heals for 5% for each buff that had its duration increased. Restores decreased max HP equal to the amount of any surplus heal. This dude could be pretty nutty as well, I think. And we've got a couple of passives. So first one, when attacked, decrease the enemy attack by 10%. Up to 50% or 25% against bosses when attacked. Occurs once per skill. Attack reduction resets after each round. I'll tell you what, 25% less attack on the clan boss is nuts as well. With a decreased attack. And then we've got a second part here. Places a fear on all enemies from these 4 different factions at the beginning of each round. Cannot be resisted. At the beginning of a round, cannot be resisted. Ogren tribes, orcs, undead, and demon spawn get feared. Oh, that's disgusting. That is actually a disgusting passive right there. Got a second passive as well. All incoming damage from skills is reduced by 50%. That's a crazy passive. I wonder if that's just on him or on your whole team. If that's on your whole team, then this dude will be all over the arena. When attacked, this champion's max HP will be decreased by 25% of the attack's initial damage before the reduction. So he takes a penalty for it, but wow, that's actually kind of nuts. And then critting all battles. So look, I mean, that's it. 10 new champions coming through. What do you think of the rare and the epics for the fusion? And what do you think about all of these new Void Legendaries? Any which make you feel like, damn, I want to go all in? Or are you just kind of like, there's so many new ones, it's going in a bit insane. There you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.